Okay, no turning back. We're gonna do this. I would like to start by saying welcome and thank you for clicking on my video to, I don't know, just be curious about what the heck this is, who I am, and what I'm doing. I'll start by saying my name is Stardust Codon. I am an aspiring comic book artist, game maker, and I guess manga would go under comic books, but same thing. So graphic artist. We'll just put that all around. I'm aiming to be a graphic artist to produce products that I can show to the world and have them entertained and things like that. Um, I might have to cut this video a little bit short because I will ramble on for quite some time. So I will say this. I like to create a lot of original characters, and I like to make stories for those characters. I also like making card games. As you can see here, like there's no complete, it's not complete. This is very, very conceptual. And then here's like an older version, which was like, it's all right, but it's a little too busy for me. Like there was too many stats and all that stuff. I wanted to simplify it, so I'm gonna have to redo that. Um, you got a comic or comic concept here. The name of it was called Wonderlanders. I'll explain more about that in in another video. And then the two characters back here, uh, they're not random characters, but compared to other characters who I've drawn over the years again and again and again, I've only drawn these characters like maybe once or twice, maybe 3 times. Um, but to give you a quick little idea of how I work or what I do. Um, let's say I start working on this character. I don't know her name. I didn't work on her that well. But what I did was I came up with the concept of what if Thor had a daughter, which has already been done if you've seen the next Avengers. But it wasn't supposed to be like the Marvel's Thor, but because when you say Thor, you think of Marvel, I was a little nervous about that, so I changed it to what if someone found gloves that had the powers of Mjolnir, electricity, flight, super strength, and durability, and all that stuff. And that's as far as I got. Like I didn't go any further with her because I lost her in like 2 metric tons of old drawings and paper and folders and binders and all kinds of things that are just lying around this room right now. It's a wreck or an artist's dream. I don't know. Depends on your point of view. And this character here, she would be called Greek Fire because she was in a temple of Greece where two kids were playing around and they accidentally activated a trap that would turn on Greek fire. And this archaeologist did her best to protect the kids, which she did. She got them out of the way just before the temple closed. And when it did, the Greek fire just started going off and going off further and further until, there was nothing left to envelop in the room. But fortunately, she finds some kind of inscription or she has some kind of artifact that she has no idea allowed her to absorb that fire inside of her, and now she is living Greek fire. She's a protector of all that is Greece, and she'll expand further out into the world because what I really like how comic books can expand on like tons and tons of characters in one world, which is what I've done. So like one day those two characters could cross paths, and then I have other characters who definitely cross paths. They team up. They have crime waves that like interconnect with each other, which is how they meet. They may not exactly like each other at first because they have different opinions about how to do things, or they think that one is more important than the other and all that. But to comic books. Um, I said I'd explain the Cheshire thing later, the manga thing later, which I will. And I will definitely explain the TCG thing later because this is something I really, really wanted to do since I was a child. Um, I'm very scattered now. A little bit more about me. I'm very scatterbrained. I'm always all over the place. I like to dabble a lot, as you can see, which could cause a lot of problems for actually finishing big projects. Um, the name, my name Stardust Codon, it came from the fact that I really like Dragon Ball Z and Ben 10. Stardust came from Stardust Crusher, which was a very awesome move from Gogeta, especially in Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. I really love the animation. And then Codon came from the Codon stream on Ben 10 before it got retconned and just rewritten out of Ben 10 Omniverse and maybe even the future franchise if that ever comes out. Um, so I researched what codon means, and codon means it's that tiny little bar inside of the DNA helix, which, it's the little thing that makes up the thing that makes up things, since DNA creates mostly everything organic and maybe even inorganic. I'm not too sure about that. But Stardust codon practically means, the being that creates beings and existence within the universe of the within the universe of the stars. It's his own little universe, my universe, the Codon verse, and it's where everything that I create becomes in existence, even if it's like completely different. Like this and those two will never cross paths because this is a manga, so it'd be in its own existence. The card game, obviously, the monster thing would be in its own little existence. Um, so that's all I have for now. I will make more videos explaining in depth about each section of my ideas, and hopefully I can build up upon something and turn this into something and look back on this a year or years later and realize how awkwardly cringy I was. Thank you for watching. Okay, so as soon as I finished that last video, I went to check to see if the Sun and Moon demo was out, and it is, and I am going to be so happy to finally try it. And suddenly all that awkwardness is gone. Anyway, I'm going to try my best to not get distracted by the fact that this is on my system now and be consistent with the videos what was I talking about?